Because if you find people who are completely resolved, then the challenge becomes less. If you find people who are trying to resolve between two things, then that's, I think, more interesting to play. And she's very funny. She's really, Emma is very, very funny. And every time she would come in one worse costume than the other, I would say, Emma, what are you wearing? And she would say very proudly, I chose it myself.
Hello everyone, welcome to PeepingMoon.com. I'm Rashita Sahni, and today joining me for a super interesting conversation is Shabana Azmi, who recently impressed all of us with what's love got to do with it. Hi Shabana ma'am. Firstly, I watched the film last week, and throughout the film there was this smile on my face, and how pleasantly every character was showcased throughout the movie, and I could sort of relate to some aspect of each and every one, like to the younger generation, to the mother, everyone. So congratulations on the initial response. That's been great. Firstly, how did you feel about it? Because it's something new and refreshing that we saw after a lot of time, and the response has been incredible.
It feels really good because while we were doing the film, we were so happy in spite of the fact that it was being shot at the height of COVID in London. So we had to maintain very strict protocol, which of course put its own problems, but also gave us a lot of other chance. But now when I see that it brings a smile on everybody's face and the reaction is so good, it makes me so happy because that's, I think, what is the key aspect of the film. Because in today's times when everything is so dark and so brittle and so divisive, to have a film which is a rom-com but much more than that, because it talks about love and relationships, it brings emotion into it, and it is pure heart. That's what people are relating to, the fact that it is pure heart. And as you know, I mean, if you've seen Shekhar Kapur's films, and particularly if you've seen Masoom, then you know that that
Yeah.
is the strength that he has as a filmmaker. He's able to infuse heart.
I'm sure it's a very feel good film, and you sort of it translates on screen as well. But talking about this concept that's shown of assisted marriages now, we have all seen there's like a massive change that's come in the culture that we live in. Arranged marriages are sort of looked down upon in today's time. They say that no, we just want to go with love marriages, and we have new terms for arranged marriages today. How relevant do you think are assisted marriages in today's time?
I must say that in the beginning, I was like everybody else. I used to say that arranged marriages, no, 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 that can't be. But in today's age, when Tinder has become a sort of totally accepted thing for people to, meet each other through an app, when you've got things like shadi.com, then why not rely on your parents who know the most about what you would like? And there is no evidence to suggest that love marriages are infinitely more successful than arranged marriages. There's a very beautiful line in it which says that I don't want people to fall in love. I want them to walk into love. And that's, I think, basically it. And I don't think, that the film is actually making a case for either. What the film is doing very cleverly is putting two cultures together and turning the stereotypes on its head, and making you look at a very warm and funny, but with a very with lots of love, a look at two completely disparate cultures.
Definitely agreed to that. But there was a very relatable throughout. I felt like you are a very relatable mother because there was a balance of being traditional and following the customs and values. But in the end, there's a scene where your son comes up and sort of says about his bad habits. And like every other mother, you try to sort of cover it up by saying, it's for medicinal purpose, it's okay, and you sort of try to layer it out by covering it, which honestly is every mother out there who is so protective about her child. She knows he or she might be wrong, but she sort of tries to support them in their her way. How different or similar do you think is your character to you in real life?
Were different from me, because I don't think that I am a very traditional person in any way at all. But I find Aisha Khan very relatable, and I see many, many people like her. And to be able to negotiate that space between the traditional and the modern is a tricky one. Negotiating
True.
that is a tricky one, and she's trying. And that's what I find interesting, because if you find people who are completely resolved, then the challenge becomes less. If you find people who are trying to resolve between two things, then that's, I think, more interesting to play.
Yeah, I'm sure. Agreed to that. But you share this really honest and sweet bond with Emma Thompson in the film, and you two, when y'all are together in that first little scene after the wedding, it it looks like two friends, two effortless friends, just enjoying each other's company. How was the bond like on set?
It was lovely because, I have admired her as an actor for so long. I also admire her human rights work. And so we had a
Yeah.
lot in common in that sense. But she is a very generous, very warm, very funny co-star. And because COVID put some restrictions on us, which means that we couldn't meet beyond the bubble of the film set.
Mm.
Normally, when you're out there, you go to each other's homes and you have time to bond, but we had to bond during that time. And how it works over there is that there is a common vanity van for hair and makeup. So you have
Okay.
Emma Thompson getting ready, and you have Shabana Azmi getting ready, and you have Lily James and Sajal Ali, all of them sitting in the same space. And that's a very
Yeah.
private moment when you're getting ready. So once you have that kind of intimacy, then you really become sort of bond together very well. And I think that gave us some advantages also. And she's very funny. She's really, Emma is very, very funny. And every time she would come in one worse costume than the other, I would say, Emma, what are you wearing? And she would say very proudly, I chose it
Mm.
myself. And that bit when she's attempting the Sangeet, when she's dancing.
Yeah.
Actually, Emma is a very good dancer. So she had to act mistiming the steps,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it was very, very nice, lovely.
Fantastic. I think that's sort of also that real life bond translated on screen as well for the two of you. But talking about Shekhar Kapur as a filmmaker, we have all known him, loved his work, his cinema. On set, is he like a total actor's director? Yeah.
So Shekhar has always been an an actor's director. He really loves his actors, and he has this ability to strike a bond with the actors where he sort of inspires you to do what
Yeah.
he likes rather than dictate it to you. Uh, that's very comforting for an actor, the relationship that Shekhar has managed to strike with us. And that's always a very big advantage, obviously.
I'm sure about that. But Shabana ma'am, when we hear that you're associated with a project and you're a part of it, there is an instant expectation that we sort of have from it because we think, okay, if Shabana Azmi is in a film or a project, it has to be good, and that has been proven time and again. But when you are selecting something, does that pressure ever run in your mind that everyone has a certain expectation and you have to sort of maintain it?
I am now in a very happy period of my life when I can afford to break it. If you look at the work that I'm doing at present, everything is so different. I mean, on the one hand, I'm doing Steven Spielberg's Halo. We're doing season 2 at the moment. Then we've got
Yeah.
What's Love Got to Do with It. Then I've got Karan Johar's Rocky or Rani Ki
Okay.
Prem Kahani. Then I've got R. Balki's Ghumar, where I play a cricket loving grandmother to Sayami
Grandmother.
Khair.
Yeah.
Then I have Vikas Khanna's Imaginary Rain, where I play a chef. So there's such a vast array of opportunities for me. And so I'm grabbing it with both hands.
Perfect. And we would love to see more and more of you. But recently, of course, Karan Johar rapped the Rocky or Rani, and he shared a very beautiful post with all his members. And when the movie was first announced with your name being in it, Jaya Bachchan being in it, we were all like, wow, this is something we are looking forward to watching, and everyone is super excited. How was your time shooting for it?
It was lovely. Firstly, Karan is an absolute dream to work with, as both as a producer and a director. I would work with him anytime, eyes closed. If he asked me to do even a little cameo, I would do that. He's a very, very lovely director to work with. The atmosphere on the sets was gorgeous. It was, but in my case, I completely surrendered to him and his vision. And and Manish Malhotra, both of them are great friends, and they have this clear view about how I needed to look in the film. And he would keep saying, "Trust me, trust me." So if you like me in the film, then both of them get the credit. And if you hate me, then the gun should go to there, pointed at them. I just completely surrendered.
That's amazing. I'm sure we're going to love it, and everyone in India is going to love What's Love Got to Do with It. But thank you so much for this amazing conversation. It was lovely chatting with you.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it, and I really would like audiences to go and visit it in large numbers, because in today's day and age, a film like that is a very important film.
I
You'll
know.
come back with a real smile on your face.
It
Thank you.
truly is. Thank you so much.